If you do not have a scanner to make prints with your artwork, you can still make prints with your artwork. Here's how we're going to use our phone. Yes, everyone thank MJ for this. I was on his live earlier and he told me that he just doesn't have a scanner, so he doesn't know how to make prints, and he can't make prints. So I told him during his live, I will make him a tutorial. This sketchbook is too big for my scanner, so we're going to take a photograph of this. I do have these studio lights all over the studio. I've got 3 of them. There's no overhead lighting in here. So I could just use those and it would be good enough. But I'm going to work under the assumption that the only tool you have is your phone. We have to go outside. It does have to be daylight if you do not have softbox studio lighting. Go somewhere that has even light. If there's shadows going across it, you cannot take your photos there. Full sunlight's good. It's 6:30 in the morning for me, so it is still like really soft outside, which is honestly the best because you get a softbox effect without having a softbox. So get to your neutral lighting and then click ×2. A longer length and lens makes this more even and it won't distort your image as much as the one. A couple of variations of it. So get close up, get far away, and go back inside. Ooh, I just put in my contacts. They feel spicy. Everyone say good morning, Fawn. She can get out. That's just a pillow. It's not like a... It does look like she's trapped. Also from our phones, we're gonna go to Canva. Start a new project. Flyer is the size of regular printer paper. And we're gonna upload our photos. Just pick a couple of them. Pick the first one you want to edit. If you do not get the image straight, that's okay. Double tap on it, hold down this rotation key at the bottom, and then you'll be able to straighten it up from there. You're going to notice the white background looks blue instead of white. So there are a couple things you can do here. So why the paper looks blue instead of white or even yellow is a thing called temperature. If you go up, it's going to look warmer or colder. It works off of Kelvin, so it's the same as a light bulb. So since my background is a little blue, that means I need to warm up mine a little bit. And then if you find it's a little green or a little pink, you can also adjust going either way in that direction. I actually think mine's pretty neutral, if not a little pink, so I'm just going to slide it just like a -6-ish. Then overall, this is really dull. So we're going to bring up the brightness, bring up the contrast, but you don't want to blow it out. So you see how right here you start to lose details. I would say a smaller number, around 20. Highlights are going to be anything that's white. So this, again, you can get too far and start blowing out detail, but if not enough, it kind of just looks like a messy photo. Shadows are going to be the darkest darks. So if you bring that down, it's going to get darker. If you bring that up, it's going to get lighter. Me, I want my darks to be a little dark. And then this is pure whites. Anything that's pure white will become pure white. Notice how it's not selective. This is more refined in programs like Affinity, which is also free and owned by Canva, or even Photoshop. Personally, I don't touch the whites. Some people do like to make their whites darker because sometimes this can give a film effect. Personally, I'm not a fan of film effects. Same thing with blacks. You can make the blacks lighter by pulling it this way, darker pulling it this way. I want my darks to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to go to +8. For vibrance, it's going to just increase some things slightly either direction. Saturation is going to be like your big punch of taking away or adding in color. Increasing sharpness is going to add almost like a grain to it because it's trying to find most clear details and it's going to sharpen those. So if you pull it this way, it's going to blur the image. This way, it's going to make it a little pixelate, which again, in other programs like Photoshop and Affinity, this wouldn't be a bad idea to sharpen your image, but in Canva, it's not actually sharpening it. It's only going to degrade the image quality, so you don't really want to use too much of that. One that I will do is increase clarity. It does a couple things. It'll increase sharpness a little bit, contrast a little bit, and it does it all evenly across the entire image. Now, what if I wanted to keep all that yellow, but I wanted to make sure everything else was just black and white? You can leave it here. You can print it just like that. You'll just size it to whatever size prints you want to make. You can print it yourself, or you can send it to a printer to print it for you, and they'll just mail it to you. If you want to take it a step further, we can open Canva on your computer and you'll have a little more options. And I bet you these are on the phone. I just don't use Canva on my phone, so I'm gonna show you on the computer. So something I want to do is make everything black and white except for that yellow. You can do this is whenever you select your image, it's automatically going to pull up all the colors in the image, or just some of the colors in the image, I mean. So I don't want blue. We're gonna change it to black. Then change this blue also to black. It's basically going to put a wash over it. And since we did increase the warmth earlier, it does turn the whole thing like yellow. You can see this is our yellow background. Although I will say, I kind of like the pink. We might keep that. So if we're doing it like this, we're going to go back to edit, adjust. We're going to fix that white balance back down. I'm sure I missed it on my phone, but it's called color edit. I messed around with it some more to get everything else to be truly black and white, and then this stay in color. I brought the vibrance all the way to -100, and then the saturation up to 55. These are my final settings. I've made a couple versions, so let's see how they look. Something else to take note of is the colors on your monitor are not going to be the same that you see on the printer. My PC, I do have the monitor color calibrated because I'm also a photographer. I use my PC a lot for photo editing. I'm switching to the Mac because that PC is like a bajillion years old. You can go to a lot of camera shops and they'll calibrate it for you. Some charge, some don't. So no guarantee on that. If you're printing from home, here's some print settings for you. So this is gonna say scale to fit. Actually, you need to change it to just say 100%. That way when you cut it, it's true to size. What's in printer options right here. If you're on a Mac, click the eye. Make sure that you have Epson color controls on, or whatever your printer is. Make sure your printer is in control of the colors, unless you're printing from a place like Photoshop. That is just so your computer and the printer don't argue over who's in charge. Then print settings. Select the paper that you're using. I'm using Premium Presentation matte paper. Make sure that you change it to the highest quality possible. Print. So here's how they came out. Overall, I think the color actually looks really good.